We are looking at valley number 2 now. You can see the valley right in the middle of the screen, all the trees going back and curling around to the left and going around the plateau. It's a broader valley and it has a lot more trees, a lot bigger trees, a lot more water in there. You can see to the left of the valley, number 2, the end of the plateau, and to the right of the valley we have the very long Ridge B, or second line of bluffs. Now remember, Benteen has come off the plateau, gone into valley number 2, and he has made his way up to Ridge B. He has looked to his right while doing this to ascertain that Custer and Reno's flank is clear. As you recall, Custer and Reno are moving along the tree line here, Reno Creek, left to right, just below the ridge line here. And their flank is clear. Benteen has looked down the valley, and there are no Indian villages there or any stray Indians. It's a fairly insignificant valley, even though it's bigger than valley number 1. So that part of the Benteen's orders are clear. Benteen gets up onto the second line of bluffs here, Ridge B, and he joins the Lieutenant Gibson and the advance detail at the end of Ridge B, which is right up in here. And they look off to the west to achieve their main goal, which is to look into the Little Bighorn Valley and ascertain what the Indian situation is there, if the Indians are fleeing or not. Unfortunately, while up on the ridge, they look to the west, and there's another ridge line right here. That is Ridge C, or the third line of bluffs. And in between Ridge C here and Ridge B, you can see a wooded area, Reno Creek, but that's also the beginning of the valley number 3 is in between the two ridges. So they're standing up here on the bluff and they're looking to the west, but they can't see the Little Bighorn Valley because Ridge C here, which is on the horizon, is just as tall, just as high in elevation as Ridge B is. So unfortunately, the scout is not over. Benteen is going to be forced to move into valley number 3 and at least move up to Ridge C, unless he decides to do anything different. So he's not real happy at this point. He's already on the scout, gone up to the high ground, come over this plateau, look down valley number 1. He's gone into valley number 2. He's had to climb up Ridge B, go all the way along it. Now he's forced to come down into valley number 3 and probably go up to the next line of bluffs, Ridge C. So he really feels he's getting his horses tired out, and he's not very happy about this. But he has to obey his orders, and he has to look into the Little Bighorn Valley so he can come back to Custer and let him know exactly what the situation is there. So the scout isn't over. Benteen sends the advance detail off first into the valley and tells them to go right up the Ridge C. And Benteen, now standing there on the end of the ridge, is joined by the rest of the battalion who had slowly been working their way up and along the bluffs here, the second line of bluffs. They finally all join Benteen, and then they start to work their way down the steep-sided slopes of the western side of Ridge B here, and they're going to go into valley number 3. So at this point, we will move on to the next line of bluffs, which will be Ridge C, and we'll take a look down valley number 3.